Hello everyone and welcome to a Hearts of Iron 3 United States gameplay update. This isn't really a series that I'm putting on the channel, but since I did play this as I was talking about Hearts of Iron 3, as I was talking about the Stellaris update, and this is the predecessor gameplay for myself just before I begin our campaign as Italy. And as a tangent, a side comment, I'm planning on doing a custom start as Italy, which means I'll be deleting some of the forces that they start with and rearranging things in a different way, manipulating their starting technology. If you have a problem with that, or if you think that that's a good idea, if you want to have any input on that, because I haven't started the series yet, feel free to leave a comment about that. Okay, but this gameplay has gone, I would say it's actually going to be a very fun gameplay, as it's going to be a really fun campaign, I should say, as the United States. A grand conquest, because Japan has just gone buck wild. They're heavily into India. They just conquered Bhutan, so they've annihilated all. They've even taken over Australia. So Japan is going to be a very fierce opponent. They probably even have access to the raw materials they need from these conquered areas in Malaysia and Indonesia. So that's pretty interesting to me, that perhaps I will have a real challenge. Normally the United States is kind of just watch the world burn around you and then go in and have fun whenever you're ready. Now the alternative side of that, the other side of the coin there, is that I have gotten myself pretty well prepared, because threat levels allowed me to move up to the second highest standard for production. Oh yeah, there was just elections. I should probably change these things back. What do I need? Probably consumer affairs, I think. That's why I was having unrest. Anyway, this isn't super important to do. Political intel, that's probably the best. So let's do organization regain. Yeah, anyways, I'm not going to bore you guys. But anyway, the point I was saying is we're up to war economy. One away from the max. Same thing with manpower, we're up to 3-year draft. One away from service by requirement. Now, another interesting thing is it's only 1940, and you see that France has totally been conquered. That actually happened in September of 1939. Germany began their war early. If you remember from, I think it was the Stellaris Tortuga Talks video, that they started marching in around April. They conquered Poland. It looks like part of Poland still exists for some reason. They're probably a puppet state. And then on top of that, France was conquered only like 3 months later. So Vichy France was formed. Italy has decimated Egypt. They've completely taken it over. They've even taken over Iraq. So things have not gone swimmingly for the Allies. I'm very interested to see what happens when the Soviet Union engages in the war, when they get involved. It'd be pretty interesting to see, because maybe Germany just completely annihilates them. That's usually what happens for the first year anyway, right? Because Germany has a lot of bonuses. They push in pretty hard against the Soviet Union to start. But this may not be a push the Russians can even stop, because it's just, I don't know, it's Germany, the Axis have done an amazing job so far. With weird stuff like that. That's weird. I didn't know that Soviet Union controlled a port in the southern tip of Finland. And Japan, like I said, they've rolled through everything. The funniest thing to me was when they took Sydney, and there's a little pop-up which, anyways, comes alive. So I'm just twiddling my thumbs. Let me actually show you what I've done in preparation. This is pretty gamey. I mean, this is like metagaming in that I know I will probably be attacked. Maybe if you saw Japan going this crazy and taking Australia. Honestly, if Japan went this crazy, the United States would probably go to war. Which I just don't think that's an option for me quite yet. Can I declare war? Can I join the Allies? I don't think so. Yeah, see? I'm very close. I've gotten it down to 27.3, but I need it down to 25. Because right now I'm actively using a lot of spies to increase Germany's threat. Because right now I think, if I go to diplomacy, this game is so complicated. I mean, it's second hat for me, no problem. but I understand how this game can be a little intimidating. You see, the highest threat for me is Germany, and my neutrality is 27, so I need these guys to go up to about 30, and then I will be able to join Great Britain. And it would be really nice if I wasn't declared war upon. It would be nice if I just joined and entered the war that way, because right now my organization for these groups intentionally is extremely low. So if they decide to land on these islands, even though I have 3 garrisons, I haven't assigned leaders yet, but I have 3 garrisons with a very sizable land fort, or coastal fort. That might not matter if in the end they just attack and immediately take it over, right? So, okay, that's about all I want to say for the update for the USA gameplay. It's been a lot of fun. The thing I like about USA is you play through so quickly that... What am I missing? Oh, yeah, okay. So the 25% or 2.5% for laissez-faire is very important, saving me a lot of IC. But you just are constantly researching technologies. That's a perfect example. So you really feel like you're guiding the nation to the place it wants to go. Plus, the United States has an amazing amount of leadership to begin with. Obviously, there's a huge deficit in officers right now because I try to wait to do the officer increase until I get the full service by requirement, which gives you the 50% bonus instead of just 25. That's a little risky because right now the officer ratio is so low. That's probably why my organization is so bad. So probably in another month or so, I will begin just pumping officers in because we need to at least withstand the first fight. And yeah, if our organization is at 1/20th what it should be because we don't have enough officers, I'm just going to have to address that. So, but it's a lot of fun to just keep gathering more. And I think nav pilots... trying to get my carrier air groups, the CAGs, up to be as effective a fighting force as possible, which of course again is going to be largely guided by how good my officer groups are. So let's actually just start doing that now. I'll just cut this down. I don't really care about the exact numbers, just start getting that up. Looks like it's going to change pretty quickly, so let's get it up to about 80 or something, maybe 70. I just need a reasonable amount and we can do the rest later. So the research technologies I've decided to focus on, obviously the United States is not really limited. They can pretty much take anything they want, but I went very heavily into militia because this was the garrison one as well. And I find the garrisons are just excellent for defending your islands in the Pacific. Usually I just put the maximum for a frontage, which usually is 10. So I get 3 brigades of 4, and that's usually what I do, which gives you 12 brigades involved in the combat against, up to, they can have up to 13 or 14 if they, but the AI usually uses brigades of 3 or 4, so they probably only have 12 as well. Yeah, I just find that they're very effective because their soft attack is not that much less than the infantry. Obviously, their armor defense is much worse. And their attack is much worse, and their movement is much worse. But the good thing is, when you're on an island, you don't need to move, so I find it very effective. So you just kind of plod along from turn to turn, and constantly adjust your upgrades. It's a kind of a relaxing way of playing a country, the United States, so. And you don't have to worry about resources, obviously. We just have infinite resources. For now, at least, until the full amount of our production is taken care of. Taken advantage of. Yeah, so let's put this into the... I just want these just forming right here. I haven't really broken down my fleets. You can see that if it has this special name, which is the theater I want it in, either Atlantic or Pacific. If it has that and a number, like SAG this, Atlantic Sub 1, Atlantic SAG number 1, Pacific Sub 1, Carrier Task Force number 2, Carrier Task Force number 1. These are the only ones that have actually formed. And I have a huge, well, that's a bad example. Let me go to my carriers. I have a huge reserve of carriers and some battleships and a lot of reserve of light cruisers. We can see a whole bunch of light cruisers there, destroyers. The way I play is just to really build up these fleets and then send them off where I want them, very close to when the war starts. Now, you don't know when the war is going to start, which is kind of the trick with the United States. But by the end of 1940, I feel like I usually have until at least the end of 1940. So probably around December, I'll start throwing these fleets around. I already have a carrier task force and a surface action group. That's your battleship groups. I already have one of each in Guam, which is the place I feel like will most likely be targeted first. And let's see, if I just keep advancing a little bit longer, maybe we can see a change for their organization. So you really just check this every day, and if it doesn't change, then you can keep plowing along until you get new technology. But the technology is just coming so quickly, which is a lot of fun. I don't want to research medium tanks beyond 1942. In fact, tanks are not going to be important for the very first parts of combat. So we're going to be mainly defending with garrisons, and maybe, I imagine a lot of the very beginning fights are going to be in the air and on the sea, which makes it even more important for me to get that officer pool up. But we're doing that slowly now, so we're getting there. Okay, let's increase our upgrades. I like to keep my upgrades just constantly at max, but I do it with manual because for some reason when you do it automatically, it doesn't work exactly the way I want. Sometimes they put supplies. I don't want any supplies because we're at like infinite. Sometimes they put Lend-Lease. Sometimes it changes the reinforcement. I just want things exactly as they are here. So, you know, my min-max little tendencies coming into play here. Okay, yep, so we drop down a little bit and just keep moving. Even though the reinforcement says 0.06, 0.03 will gradually eat away at it. So you can see now down to 0.5. Now down to 0.04. So just having it at 0.03 constantly, I don't have to adjust it. Ooh. I don't think Germany's gonna... That's just a waste of Germany's leadership for them to try to influence me, because I will definitely be... See, it says... But I'm gonna stay... Yeah, we're drifting toward the Axis at 20.2, but we're drifting toward the Allies still at 20.5. So that means that basically Germany's just wasting. But they really need to pull me because I'm almost ready to go to war. And that would be... Well, I don't know if Japan's ready, but... It's a big benefit for the Allies, obviously, to have me involved. I really love this. Lend-Lease was only added in their finest hour. I really enjoy that. I think that's really cool. So you can really just give IC to like France or United Kingdom mainly, or even Russia later. So that's probably actually a good idea for me, considering normally I like to just take charge and do everything. You know, I like it when the Allies are losing, because it gives the United States more of a job. But this time they're getting their ass kicked so severely that I might actually need the Soviet Union to hold. So I don't know. We'll see. So that's going to conclude this little look at, I don't know, how Hearts of Iron 3 is going as the United States. It's a lot of fun, and also that's why the secondary objective for this video was just if you want a particular style for Italy, go ahead and leave it in the comments. Not necessary, you can also leave it in the comments for Italy when I start up. My very first video is going to be me just setting up Italy, and then maybe taking over Ethiopia. But, yeah, okay, good. So, without further ado then, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you whenever that series starts up.